Good evening and welcome to the Angela Ray Show. I hope that you all have had a great day and you are ready for the weekend. First, off the top, I must say, huge congratulations to the Atlanta Braves for winning the World Series and doing it in style. Like they didn't let the Houston Astros score at all last night. It was 7-0. So, again, huge congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. And of course, we are now in the midst of football and basketball season. So buckle up and hang tight because it's going to be an interesting year for professional sports as well as college because some things are changing in the college game. For everyone who will be catching tonight's broadcast on the replay, thank you so much for checking us out. Be sure to comment hashtag replay once you go back and watch. I love to see those comments and show you some love. For everyone who will be catching tonight's broadcast live, you know what to do. Go ahead and slide in those comments, say hello. And, tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing a realtor. So I'm just curious for everyone who will be watching to live on tonight, let me know what your dream house is. Yeah, just let us know. What is your dream house? All right, so you know how we get the party started every single week. We start with the Ray of Motivation moment. And for tonight's Ray of Motivation moment, I am going to be quoting the very great and dynamic Dale Carnegie, who says, "Success is getting what you want, but happiness is wanting what you get." There are so many times that we think we want certain things in life, whether it is a dream house, a dream job, living in a certain neighborhood, having a dream partner, maybe even having the dream outfit, all of those kinds of things. Sometimes we view each of those things as success. But honestly, getting all of those things don't necessarily equate with happiness. We can see that by reading the headlines of heartbreak and downfall and depression from some of the world's richest celebrities and business owners. But when you are truly happy, when you can find a reason to smile no matter what comes or what goes, even during the challenging times, happiness is really wanting what you get. Even if you have to change that up a little bit, there's a saying that when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You can make a little lemonade and still be happy, whether you have to have that lemonade with sugar, with Splenda, or just plain lemonade with no sweetener at all. So, again, tonight's motivational moment is success is getting what you want, but happiness is wanting what you get. And that is a quote from Dale Carnegie. And that is tonight's Ray of Motivation moment. Well, I am truly excited to welcome my guest tonight. He is a husband, he is a father, he is a brother and a friend. He is a part of Keller Williams Realty in Charlotte, North Carolina. But that was not his first rodeo. He has been a business owner as well as an employee in corporate America. And so I'm excited to speak with him tonight because, we all know there's some changes and big things going on in the housing industry. So welcome, my fellow Tar Heel, Maurice Barnes. Maurice, thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me, Angela. I appreciate it.
So I'm curious, we talked a little bit about what some typical days are like for you during this time in our country when houses are going like this. I'm reading some that it's starting to just a little bit slow down. But at the height when, houses were going on the market at like noon and by 1 o'clock, there was an offer in $5,000 over the asking price. What was life like for you?
You know what? You know what? There were days just like that where you would see a house come up on the market. You would reach out to like your client and let them know about the house, and you're breaking your neck to go out and just schedule the showing. And you're getting there. You're looking at the house, and as you're walking through the house, you know what? You get that notification from like the agent, the listing agent, saying that, hey, the house is already under contract. We're sorry, the house is no longer available. So you know what? I can tell you that this summer was really, really kind of hectic with regards to just having like low inventory out there and just so many buyers out there just looking for the home of their dreams. But it's also one of those things too where you always got to like stay focused, and instead of what I would call sometimes doing what I would call panic buying, and you
Hmm.
know what, just because homes are limited out there, that you're just going after anything, whether it fits your needs or not. You're just dying to get that house. So Angela, now when you talk about success and like happiness, a lot of times I used to have conversations with my buyers or with my clients about, now would you have really been happy with this house, or now would you just been pleased to say, hey, I just got a house? And you know what, because I could tell you that buying a house is probably like the third most important thing that one will ever do in their life. And you know what, and it's right behind number one, finding that life partner in your life. Number two, with that life partner deciding to have kids or not. And then number three, purchasing the home that you will live in, that you will raise a family in, that you could possibly grow old in.
So this summer or last summer was just crazy. But now that things are definitely not normal, but maybe manageable for some people, what advice would you give to someone who may still be looking? Maybe it's not the home of their dreams, maybe it's a starter home, maybe it's investment property. What advice would you give to someone looking right now?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I could tell you that I love this time of year in real estate. Seasonally, things kind of slow down because, the holidays are coming up. What now? We're about to celebrate Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, and everyone's getting ready for like the new year. So, like a lot of buyers decide, you know what? I've given this a go during the summer, was not successful, really didn't see anything I liked in early fall. I'm just going to take a break and come back in spring of 22. But you know what? This time of year, really like the serious buyers out there, those who are like determined to be in a house by like now the new year. And so like the biggest things I share with buyers that are going out there and looking for homes, first and foremost, let's identify those must haves in a home. And then secondly, those that, you know what, we would like to have it, but if it's not there, you know what? We can renovate and improve the house like a little bit later. Like, for example, I'm working with some buyers that say, Maurice, hey, a garage is a necessity for me. Well, we may see a house without a garage, but if we don't have that garage, I know that there's a concern regarding safety and things like that. That garage provides that peace of mind. So we're not settling for homes that don't have a garage. We're going for homes that have garages. Or if you must have, let's say for example, you got like a growing family and you already have two kids and one on the way, maybe that 3 bedroom home is not, is not the right home. We may need to be looking at those 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath homes out there. So I tell buyers not to settle when it comes time to looking for their first home, their upgraded home, their dream home. Let's go ahead and find what you're looking for so that 6 months from now, a year after you bought your home, you're not having like buyer's remorse.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
you know what? It's one thing to buy a shirt, right? And and if you don't like it, well, you can take it back to the store. But with a house, it's just not that easy to do, right? So you just can't take it back and give it back to the seller and say, "Hey, I want my money back." Right?
right.
Yeah.
We got a question from one of our viewers, CJ. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight, CJ. This is very informational for me. Just finished real estate school and taking state exam on the 16th for my license. So, yay, congratulations to you. But
Yeah.
the question is, any advice?
Yeah, sure, CJ. I could tell you, well, first of all, congratulations for finishing real estate school. I remember a few years back when I finished up real estate school and was preparing for the exam. As far as the exam, I'm not sure what state you're in, but what I would say
Georgia.
in Georgia. Okay, got you. So yeah, so like the biggest thing there, I would say, first and foremost, study all of your practice questions. Make sure now that you've, just gone through several practice tests, and you know what, and then what, you will probably knock it out of the park. The next thing I would probably tell you, because what you learn in real estate school is quite different than what you actually do on a day-to-day basis. Most real estate schools, they teach you the license law within your particular state. But now you got to get ready to determine how will you end up growing like your real estate business. So one of the first things I would probably tell you to do now is start researching different brokerages. There are different brokerages out there, and they have like different reputations. I would say, really, really find that brokerage out there that will, really take you under your wing, train you, and really show you how to build your own real estate career as well as business. I am personally affiliated with Keller Williams Realty, and Keller Williams has been great for me in terms of training me, showing me how to really grow a business. And so, CJ, hey, if you're interested in talking with a few Keller Williams reps in the state of Georgia, I know a lot of them and will be happy to connect you. But congratulations on wrapping up real estate school, and I just wish you the best in your real estate career.
Awesome. Well, we also have another question from someone I think that we both know.
Okay.
Two of my favorite Tar Heels. What is the difference between a real estate agent and real estate broker?
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you,
Got
Edward,
you.
for that question.
Got you. You know what? And you know what I could tell you in each state, it is different titles that are being used. I guess in the sense of like a traditional real estate agent, that right there is a salesperson that actually works inside of a real estate brokerage firm. Regardless of like the number of years, they may have 1 year under their belt, they may have 20+ years underneath their belt. Now, there are a few after a few years that will apply to become an actual broker, meaning that they actually have the skill sets and knowledge to actually go independent and actually run their own brokerage firm. See, in North Carolina, it is a little bit different because when you do get your real estate license, everyone is considered a broker. But if you actually want to be able to run your own brokerage firm, you have to take additional education and training and at least be in the business for at least 2 years to then become what I would call a broker in charge. That then gives you really the flexibility to go out there and run a brokerage firm that has at least one or two other agents, but can be as high as over 100 agents working, 200 agents, 400 agents that are working under that brokerage firm's office.
So, you haven't been in real estate for 20 years. There were some stops along the way. Talk
Yes.
a little bit about your stint in corporate, your stint as a business person, entrepreneur, if you will, and how both of those parts of your career prepared you for where you are now in real estate.
Got you. Well, you know what? I could tell you that, just looking back on it, just very thankful for all of those different experiences. It's funny when you graduate from college, you walk across that stage, you get that college degree, and they tell you that the world is yours, and you enter into corporate America and you realize that you are the low man on the totem pole. And there's just a lot of things to learn. I actually went right into corporate America. Actually, Angela, down in your neck of the woods, down in Georgia, down in Atlanta, Georgia, where I was a healthcare information technology consultant, and I traveled across the world. Gained a world of experiencing, in terms of learning how to travel, how to work with all different types of people, actually learning business and and how to build like work relationships and how to work with people to go through, to deal with conflict. After being in corporate America for almost 2 decades. And then my last role in corporate America was, you know what, I tell people I jumped off the deep end and went into sales. And you know what, I never thought I would be like a salesperson, because like the image of like a salesperson is like that traditional sleazy used car salesman, vacuum cleaner man, things like that. But you know what? Sales is a skill and a role all in itself, where I really learned that, in terms of a business, nothing happens unless something is sold. And so after spending like 4 or 5 years just really learning the art of sales and really knowing that it's not being like a pushy salesperson trying to push something on somebody, but really sitting down and understanding one's needs and identifying how either a product or a service will be able to help them meet their needs so they can get to like another level. I just had like a greater appreciation in sales. A lot of salespeople, they work off of commission. So now you learn how to really, grow a business when you're in sales. And when you're working off a commission, if those sales aren't coming in the way they should, there could be like some pretty lean months. So you also learn how to save. I could say that my stint in corporate America in sales prepared me to go in and leave corporate America. And I launched a business that I was probably like very passionate about, where I started up a senior care business after leaving corporate America. And you know what? I could tell you that I thought I was a man of faith. It wasn't until I started running my business that I just saw where, man, hey, if you are a business person out there, you know what, you must have God in your life in order for your business to be successful in all aspects. So I just encourage all business people to pray. You know what? But I was fortunate over 10 years to be able to grow a senior care business where we were caring for families all over Charlotte who had aging parents, and those aging parents did not want to go into a facility or like a nursing home. And you know what? I can tell you, it was just like a rewarding experience as an entrepreneur, being able to go in and take care of someone's mother, grandmother, grandfather, aunt, even children that had like disabilities. And you know what? And it was just so rewarding. And it was funny because when I decided that I had come to a end with being an entrepreneur in that particular industry, I actually made my jump over to real estate because it was a conversation with like my son. And as parents, now we always enjoy those moments with our kids and always want to be able to do something with them. So my son, he was actually the one that was probably interested in real estate initially. He was talking about becoming like a realtor and and really doing some things. I said, son, you know what? That's a cool idea. I said, hey, well look, why don't we start up a business together and we make this a family thing? He said, Dad, that right there would be cool. And so that's when I sold my business and jumped right into real estate school, and with the whole intent of within 5 or 6 years after my son finished his college, that the business infrastructure will already be in place, where me and him are out there helping people build generational health wealth through real estate. And with the ultimate goal, because his sister and my daughter, she wants to be a veterinarian. So what we would love to be able to go out here in another 8 more years and help her identify that commercial property where she will actually launch her veterinarian clinic. So you know what, I could tell you that my experience in corporate America, as well as my stint as an entrepreneur, real estate was like a natural fit for me, because you know what, a lot of people think that all realtors do is just go out there and just show houses, and that right there only like scratches like the surface. As realtors, you know what? We are sitting down and we are trying to understand people's business or housing needs. We are also trying to maybe deal with different family dynamics. You know, one spouse may want something, the other spouse may want something else. Sometimes now we may be working with someone who is dealing with, credit issues, but they really want a house, or people who are trying to expand. Unfortunately, I've had to deal or work with families who are going through like divorce. And you know what? And really understanding client needs. but then also turning around and, helping them find the right house so that they continue to grow and achieve their dreams through the house. We also had to negotiate contracts behind the scenes. We had to make sure that the house is sound, uncover facts for people. Being a realtor, you know what? Some people make it look easy, but it is hard work. But you know what? I love it and I enjoy the impact that we're having on families.
Well, amen. So we have a question from Antoine. Hey, Antoine, good to see you tonight. Spoke with the RE agent. She requested that I sign a working
With
with
real estate.
RE agent disclosure. By
Okay.
signing, could I decline dual agency to prevent the agent and seller working in the same firm?
Yeah, Antoine, hey, a good question. You know what? And it's almost like two different documents almost where a working with real estate agents document really just identifies all of the different representations that a agent or that a realtor can serve in. So for example, a realtor can be a buyer's agent, a realtor can also be a seller's agent. You're right, the word dual agency comes into play, which we'll get into probably like a little bit more, or it could be simply no representation at all. By signing and reviewing that working with real estate disclosure document, it does not commit you at all with working with that agent. It's just simply to explain to you all of the different roles, because in previous years, um, customers or consumers didn't know who was representing them, and there were actually lawsuits out there where consumers thought that this agent was representing them when in fact they were representing the seller or like the other party. And they were just kind of like, wow, I thought you were representing me and you weren't. So that's why that document is out, just to kind of clarify the role that that agent that you're talking to plays. And then when you do get down to signing like a buyer agency agreement, which is a formal contract where you're actually hiring the agent, yes, you could have that discussion about dual agency. And even more importantly, here in North Carolina, we have what we call designated dual agency. Dual agency really is at a firm level where um, the firm may have a listing, and you as a client with your agent. So let's say, for example, you are a buyer's agent, and that buyer's agent works for like the same firm that is as that listing. That right there automatically is considered dual agency. But when you get down to it, if the agent that is representing you is showing you one of their listings and you're saying, you know what, I don't want you to be representing both sides of the table, then that is when you can ask for separate representation, and the broker who is in charge of that particular firm can determine, you know, who to assign to you to best represent your interests.
Great answer. Mike Anderson. What's up, Mike? Says I got nothing but love and respect for my realtor. That joker went to war for me, not that joker. That is hilarious, but that's
Yeah.
Mike. Sharon Ann says, what are the advantages of buying or selling through a realtor as opposed to doing it on one's own?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, great question. Great question. You know what? Whenever, every homeowner has the right to be able to go out and sell their home themselves. And we actually call that like for sale by owner. And you know what, and as a for sale by owner, you know what, of course, and I know for my own home, I love my home and I value my home um to the highest level. But there's just some things that sometimes for sale by owners just don't have necessary, just don't have access to like all the different tools that we as realtors have. Like, so for example, for a for sale by owner may go out and just look in their particular neighborhood or across the street, and just randomly choose a price. So for example, someone could say, a for sale by owner could say, you know what, I want $350,000 for like my house. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But if all of the homes in like the neighborhood are selling for like 275, 300, then like the question becomes, okay, hey, so how are you coming up with 350? Hey, that homeowner could say, you know what, I just like 350. You know what, and I want 350. Well, as realtors, we like to come in and we like to analyze and assess the entire community that that home is in terms of what's happening in that community. And so we're looking at past sales that have happened both on market and off market. We're looking to see where the market is going in terms of like pricing. And we also like to come in and evaluate the home to see, you know what, how does it compare to other homes in the neighborhood? Okay, is the house sitting on an acre lot or is it sitting on a quarter of an acre? When you go inside the home, are there features in there that just stand out in comparison to other homes? And so as a realtor, we not only know how to come in and objectively assess the home, we also know what buyers are looking for too. So we can share with you what those buyers are looking for, as well as sharing with you what's the best way to price your home, as well as how do we best market your home so that you can get top dollar for your home.
All right. So looks like we have a great testimonial from Stan Richards.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of working with Maurice on my recent home buying experience, and it was very educational. He's a
Uh,
great teacher who can meet you at your level and help build your knowledge base.
oh,
So
well, thank you,
there's a
Stan.
great commercial and testimonial for you there,
Yes,
Maurice.
yes, yes, yes.
Another question from Edwin: what three things our people can do right now to start building generational wealth?
Oh man, yeah. You know what? Great question, Edwin. You know what? First and foremost, I would say create the vision. First of all, in terms of what are you looking to achieve with generational wealth, and it can look very different for different families. I would definitely say going ahead and establishing that emergency savings and having that lined up, but then also sitting down and saying, okay, how are we going to be building a legacy for our families? And so some of that could be through real estate, some of that could be through stock market. There are other investment vehicles out there that I think that can help families achieve that generational wealth. And then it's also very important that we teach the next generation also how to manage money and to have that appreciation for wealth and to use it properly for the benefit of the next generation within the family as well as society.
Okay. So CJ said, I'm sitting here excited because I knew the dual agency terminology. So you ready for that exam, CJ? You ready
Yes,
for that exam?
yes,
Uh,
yes.
well, as we get ready to wrap up our conversation, Maurice, I know that you have several books. One on the real estate industry, one on navigating divorce. Tell us a little bit about the books that you have.
Yeah, you know what, just like what previous caller Stan Richards said, I really pride myself in educating consumers and my clients about what is happening in real estate. So as I was going through those different experiences with my clients, I actually start to write some thoughts down that I just want to simply share with people. So for that first time home buyer who has never bought a home before, being able to receive objective advice where they can simply read it, thumb through it, and study it. So as they're getting ready to come into like the market, they have a tool that they could use and just prepare themselves. So when they get ready to choose that realtor, they know exactly what questions to ask. When they go look for homes, they know exactly what to look for. I worked with a couple who was going through a divorce, and that right there was a very delicate situation. And in that case, now you definitely don't want to choose sides. So what? How do you help a divorcing couple, go ahead and divorce themselves from the home and move forward to move on to like now their next phases in life? So in that book, that's what I talk about in terms of divorce. Since I spent 10 years in like the senior care business, where caring for seniors and things like that, I know that, hey, we buy these large homes when we're younger, we raise our families in it, our kids grow up, and guess what? We always hope those kids will come back and live near us so we can have these big family events. But a lot of times it doesn't happen. And so all of a sudden, here we are, retirement age or older, and we have these big houses and nobody to fill it in.
So
And
it's not like the Hallmark movies where everybody have this big house and then it's Christmas time and it's okay for everybody to come in because mom and dad kept the big house.
right, right, right. It's not like that all the time. So, you know what? Helping senior adults downsize to the appropriate size home for them so that then they can live out the rest of their lives. So instead of worrying about, hey, this house is too big for me to be cleaning up, they could have a right size home so they could be out enjoying life and being like active seniors. And then last but not least, I had to create a book for sellers, because what, there are those for sale by owner clients that are out there, customers out there. And you know what? They need to be informed too about what's happening out here in the housing market and how a realtor such as myself can help them, get the most out of the sale of their home so that they can then prepare to get ready for their next dream home. So, yes. So there's no telling what other type of book I'm going to be coming up with, but in 2022, I'm definitely looking to at least write two more books in 2022. That right there is my personal goal. I'm just looking for the right experience.
Right, right. I don't know which book Dean is talking about, but Maurice, where can I find that book? Maurice, why don't you let everyone know where they can find all of your books?
Yeah. You know what? I could tell you that there are several places that you could find my book. As you all see scrolling across like the screen, you all see where my Instagram handle is. You know what? You can go out there to Instagram, click on the link in the bio, and that right there will lead you to all of the links for like my different books. I also have links on my Facebook page, Maurice Barnes Realtor, and then also too, also have landing pages for each one of those books. So what I'll do after the podcast is to list those on those different social media pages so that one can go out there, click on it, and at least get a digital version of those books.
All right, awesome. So, as someone said, the books would make a great presents for first-time home buyers. Absolutely. And,
Yes.
as some people may have kind of stepped away from the red hot housing market and maybe, making baby steps to get back towards it, definitely would be very good resources to have. Hey, Eunice, thank you for
Yeah.
joining in tonight. So, Maurice, it has been an absolute pleasure catching up with
Yeah.
you, speaking
Yeah.
with you tonight. A very informative information, very timely information as well.
Oh, thank you.
Whether someone is looking to buy a house, first time, second time investment property, sell a house, there's so many different facets. And so you are definitely a wonderful resource. And I appreciate you so very candidly and transparently sharing information with everyone on tonight. As Maurice said, his Instagram is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, so you can connect with him there. And Maurice, just want to piggyback to you and just toss the baton back to you. Are there anything else you want to say just in closing remarks?
Yeah, sure. You know what? I would say that if someone is a first time home buyer, the first thing I would say is to find yourself a local realtor. If you do not know one, reach out to me via Instagram and I'll be happy to connect you. I would say if you're also looking to buy a home between now and within 2022, um, interest rates are rising, which means if interest rates are rising, that means it may end up limiting one's buying power. So, as buyers, I would say go ahead, get your pre approvals, start working with like your local realtor and find that home that you're looking for. Because otherwise, the longer you wait, then there's a possibility that your buying power to get the home of your dreams may not be within reach because interest rates are rising. Last but not least, for sellers, there's still, inventory is still low across the country for houses, and there are like a lot of buyers out there looking for houses. So if you're a seller, just based on the rising home prices and home appreciation that we had this summer, a lot of homeowners have like a lot of equity. Now is the time with still interest rates being low and low inventory. Sellers, this is an opportunity to possibly sell your house and take advantage of that equity that you gained over 2021 and get ready and prepare for like the next home of your dreams. So I would just say call up your local realtor. If you don't have one, like I said, reach out to me and I'll connect you. And you know what? Let's move towards, now your housing dreams or your real estate dreams.
Awesome. Great words of advice. Again, Maurice, Definitely a pleasure to have you on the
Yeah.
show tonight. And we may have to have you on again, especially as the market changes. There may be some different things that may be recommendations depending upon how the market will change in the next few months.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'll be happy to come back and if we need to narrow it down just to deal with sometimes first time home buyers or someone who's looking to upgrade or even working with and here you are, what you want to invest in homes and start building like your real estate investment portfolio. I would love to come back and do that. Yes.
Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too, Angela. Thanks again.
Thank you. Well, that is it for tonight's Angela Ray Show. As always, I would like to remind you of Ray of Motivation number 54. Cleaning a mirror does not change the person who is reflected in it. Until next time, I encourage you all to go out and be the change. Have a great evening.